Okay, Winnie the Pooh. It's been a while for this kit. Pooh is already done. We're on Piglet. I have started taking college courses, so I just threw the box on the floor. I have less time for this stuff, however and wherefore. Handy dandy paper that tells you colors. Light pink is pretty obvious. And then I say dark pink, light rose, dark rose, which is so close to the red that I thought that I lost it because it was mixed in with the red in my bag. This, I don't know why this is an occurrence. But we're just gonna ignore that. And we're gonna take our light pink. We're starting with the head. I already checked. The body does remember to tell you to change colors. So that's good. And we are going to make a magic ring. And get started here. So there's a lot of ways to do this. There's a ton of videos online showing all the different ways. This is how I do it. I take the tail over my finger and I wrap it around like this and then just hold it there. So this is the yarn going to my ball. This is my working yarn going to my ball. And then I take my hook and I just go under my tail here. Grab that strand of working yarn and bring it under, turn, and I pinch. Now, technically, you could just sort of wiggle this through and do that, you know, slip stitch. But I just pinch here with that hand, switch to this hand, slip stitch to close that, and then I just let that untwist. So it has been quite a while, so I'll do this again. Around, under, grab and twist, pinch, shift, slip stitch, release. So there we go. Now we are going to put 5 single crochet in here. So I'm going to insert into here through around both this tail and into my loop. So around both pieces there. Pull up a loop, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through both loops on my hook, like so. This is the top here of our first single crochet. This loop is from our chain. So we're going to do that again. Insert, pull up a loop, 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through both loops on my hook for 2. You can place a stitch marker right here in this first stitch if you would like to keep track. But I'll show you how to find that anyway. So we're going to do it again for 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to tighten this down. So I'm going to grab this tail that we have out here and pull tight. And now our next row is 2 single crochet in each single crochet. I need a stitch marker. I have a stitch marker. Now, this is the loop on our hook. We don't count this when counting things. This is the first chain from our hook. This loop and this loop that make this V, that's the top of a single crochet. Each one of these V's is the top of a single crochet. So 1 for here, 2, 3, 4, 5. We made 5 single crochet in here. So this is the top of the first single crochet that we made. This again is our little chain loop. So we are not slip stitching or anything. We're just going to continue our next round for single crochet, and we're going to do it under this first single crochet here. So it's 2 single crochet in each single crochet. So I'm going to slip under here like that. And I'm going to do a single crochet. So I'm just gonna pull up a loop. And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops on my hook. Now I am going to stop and put my stitch marker in. It is super easy to lose count of stitches when working in the round if you're not joining. So my stitch marker is in my first stitch. You can put it in the last stitch of your round. I just don't, so I do the first stitch. You may do as you like. Now, into the same spot, same place, I'm going to place a second single crochet. So here we have the edge of this little stitch that I already worked into. I'm going to go back in right under there. So under those two same loops, this is the, right here, this is the loop that I just made going in. So I'm just going in right next to that to do my second single crochet. Okay, now we need 2 in each stitch around. So we're going to find our next stitch. This little clump here is just like fuzz on the yarn. Just kind of pull that to the side or whatever. So here is my next stitch right here. And we're going to put 2 single crochet into there. So that was 1 and 2. Here we will put 3 and 4. Back into the same spot. Okay, so that's 3 and 4. Now we find our next stitch right here. And we will put 5 and 6 in here. Okay, now into this next stitch here, 7 and 8. And now this is our last stitch of that round, 9 and 10. So that's 2 stitches in each stitch around of 5 stitches, which gives us 10. There we go. Now we are going to single crochet in the next stitch, 2 single crochet in the next, and we are going to repeat this around. So I'm going to, for now, I'm going to start my single crochet and then take out my stitch marker. So this is showing me where my first single crochet is here, this loop and this loop down here. I'm going to insert under there. Hey, stop that. And then now that I'm inserted in the right place, I'll take my stitch marker out. I could leave this stitch marker in there and add another stitch marker and do that every row and then take them all out at the end. I just moved mine. I did use multiples when I first started. So I'm going to do this first single crochet and then I'm going to put my stitch marker back. So that was our single crochet in the next stitch. Now in the next stitch here, we're going to do 2 single crochet. So here's our next stitch. This little edge we already worked into. This time we're going to do 2. So a lot of times I'll count these in the intervals. I'll count the first one as 1 and then 2, 3 and keep that count up around. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. However you want to keep count. So we've done this instruction once. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet in the next. Now we're going to repeat it. So in our next stitch, 1 single crochet. And then in our next stitch here, 2 single crochet. And we're going to keep doing this around. Now right now my work is curling toward me. Okay, this is our right side. This is the side that's going to show. This is our wrong side. We will we'll tie this down in a bit. So you can wait and do it later. You can curl back as you go, whatever you like. You can lose track of what you're doing because you talk about other things. 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. So that's our second increase. And in the next stitch, single crochet. In the next stitch, another increase. And we'll continue around. Single crochet. Increase. Now, when you do things like this, when you're repeating around, unless the pattern tells you otherwise, you should end on whatever the second instruction is. So in this case, it's an increase. Our last stitch should be an increase. So here is our increase. And I don't know if they give us stitch counts in this, do they? They do later. But we can count our stitches real quick. So I'm going to count by twos. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and then 15. Okay. So, moving on. We are now going to do 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches and 2 single crochet in the next stitch. So it's similar to what we did just before, but instead of doing 1 single crochet and then the increase, we are doing 2. So I'm going to insert my hook under this stitch so I know I inserted in the right place. Take out my stitch marker. Finish out this single crochet. Put my stitch marker back, and this is the start of round 4. So that's 1 single crochet in one. Now we do 1 single crochet in the next, and then in the next one here, 2 single crochet. So if you're counting, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4 around. And we just continue this around. I won't demonstrate these all every time. 1, 2, and then our increase for 3, 4, 1, 2. I call it a loop here. See, this isn't supposed to be here, that little bit of fluff. There we go. 1, 2, and then this is 3, 4. Back to that increase. And now in our last 3, we have 1, 2, and then our increase. Now, I need to find my hook. Not my hook, my needle. Okay, needle located. So I'm going to raise this loop up pretty big, just so that I don't accidentally pull it through. And I'm going to tie this end down and weave it in. So we do this because otherwise it could loosen itself, and the circle could get bigger again. So all I'm going to do is I've tightened this, and I'm just going to go under a nearby loop like so. I'm going to hold this loop so that I can't pull this yarn all the way through. And then I'm going to put the needle of the yarn into that loop and pull it to tighten it down to tie. And now our end is secured, so we're just gonna for a little further security and organization, we're just going to weave it around underneath this or that stitch, and I don't feel like rethreading this needle. So that's going to be far enough. Now I can trim this or just leave it. For now, I'm going to leave it, primarily because my scissors aren't right here in my hand. They're somewhere. And, you know, we're going to move on. So what did we just do? We did 1 single crochet and 2 stitches, 2 single crochet in the next. Round 5, 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches, 2 single crochet in the next. So I will show you this the first time and then finish it off the camera. So I took my stitch marker out. Here's my stitch I'm going to work into right here. I left it in there the first couple times because I think it's a little easier for beginners to make sure they're in the right place that way. So I'm going to do my first single crochet, put my stitch marker back, and then that's 1. And now I will do our second stitch, and then our 3rd stitch here in our next stitch in the round. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. And then we will do our increase in the next. So 1, and then in the same spot, we'll put 2. And you'll just continue that around. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I'll finish this out and be back. Okay, here we are. This is the end of row 5. Round 5. So 6 is another step up. 1 single crochet in the first 4, then our increase. So here's our first single crochet, and we will put our stitch marker back because we are responsible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, increase, and repeat that around. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. So I will finish this off camera and be back. Okay, this is the end of round 6. I did a stitch count because at this point we should have 30 stitches because it tells us in the next round I'm good on stitches. So now our next 3 rounds, 7, 8, and 9, are all 1 single crochet in each stitch around, so just 30 single crochet around. So I can't remember if I'm positive I did this in the Pooh one, but I'm not sure, you know, can't remember. So I'll just demonstrate this first one, even though it's pretty straightforward. So, and also maybe you didn't watch the Winnie the Pooh one. First single crochet done, stitch marker in, and then just 1 single crochet each stitch around. All the way around. You can count these if you want. For these ones, if I know that I have the right amount of stitches before I start, I usually don't bother counting because it's just 1. There's no increases, there's no decreases, there's just 1 single crochet in each stitch. Oh, I split this loop right here, so I'm going to slip my hook out, and then I'm going to raise this up until we're past, this is where the split happened, until we're past that point, reinsert, keep right on going. Okay, so round 7, here we are. 8 and 9, do the same thing. Make sure you move your stitch marker at the start of each row or at the end if you're putting it in the last stitch. And I will be back after round 9. Okay, so here we are at the end of round 9. And now 10 single crochet in the first 4, 2 single crochet in the next. So I'll do my first single crochet here. Put my stitch marker back. And then continue 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, and repeat that around. And then after that, round 11 is 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I'm going to finish this round out, and then I'm going to do 11 and then be back. Make sure you move your stitch marker at the beginning of the row. Okay, so round 11, end of round 11, here we are. And now we're going to do 12, which is a single crochet in the next 5 and then the increase. So I'll do, oh, how did that happen? I'll do my first single crochet and I will put my stitch marker back in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then our increase 1, 2. Repeat that around, and then 2 rows, 13 and 14, of 1 single crochet in each stitch around. So I'll finish this round, do those 2 rounds, move my stitch marker each time, and be back. Okay, so here's how we look at the end of round 14. I haven't done this yet this video, so we can do a row count. So this first little circle in here is round 1. And then each of these concentric rings coming out is another round. So I'll count by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So now we are going to decrease over the first and second single crochet in the next 5 and repeat that around. So a decrease takes place over 2 stitches. The way that they worded this is kind of strange. It doesn't mean 2 decreases. The decrease takes place over the first and second stitch. This isn't do 1 decrease and then 2 decrease. So take out my stitch marker, a decrease. We are going to insert like you normally would for a single crochet. Pull up a loop, but don't finish the single crochet. Insert immediately under the next stitch in the round. So our second stitch here, pull up a loop, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and that's your decrease. I'm going to put my stitch marker back. So that's our decrease over the first and second stitch. Now we will do 5 single crochet. Now here, when you do a decrease, it's slanted toward the right, and just look out and make sure that you don't then work into this corner thinking it's the next stitch if you're new, because of how it's slanted over like that. Make sure you check and find your next single crochet that is not worked into. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll do one more demonstration. since this is decreasing now. So we're going to go in under this first stitch here, pull up a loop, and under the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3. And then again, we're working into this stitch here, not this bit here, even though it kind of looks like the same size as a stitch, an unworked stitch that is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you're just going to continue that all the way around, and I will be back. Okay, so here's the end of round 15. Now 16, we're gonna do similar, but just step the in-between stitches down 1, so from 5 to 4. Now these rows are gonna be a little bit weird maybe because this format has been to do the increase at the end of the set of stitches, and now we're doing the decrease at the beginning. So when you get to the end of your row, you're not ending on the decrease like you are with the increase, you're ending on just the single crochets in between. So I just wanted to call attention to that because it might feel a little odd. So we're going to do our first decrease here in the first 2 stitches. Pull up a loop, insert under the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3, put the stitch marker back, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and repeat that around, and I'll be back. Okay, so end of 16. Now for 17, we are going to step it down again. So we're going to do a decrease over the first and second, and then single crochet in the next 3. So I'm going to insert, pull up a loop, insert under the next, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops, and catch a loop that I don't want. There we go. Put my stitch marker back. So there's our decrease, and now 1, 2, 3. Repeat that around, and I will be back. Okay, so this is the end of 17, and 18 is technically our last row of doing crochet for this. So instead of doing decrease and then 2 single crochet, we're skipping right to decrease and then 1 single crochet, so we're just alternating around. And since this is the last round, I'll just do it here. So I'm gonna do my first decrease, put my stitch marker back in, and then alternate around. So I'll do 1 single crochet, decrease. Oh, I caught a loop again. Where do we think it is? It was there. Okay, pull this up. All right, let's try that again. Decrease, 1 single crochet, decrease, decrease there, 1 single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, single crochet, decrease, and ending on the single crochet. So now this tells us to fasten off and leave a tail, and then it says to fill the head and then tie off with a slip stitch. Fastening off it usually, you know, includes doing the slip stitch. That's how you fasten off. So I just wanted to point that out. I'll probably fill the head for assembly, not right now. So I'm just going to slip stitch into this next stitch here. So I'm going to insert, pull up a loop, then pull that through the loop on my hook right away and tighten it. And then I'm just going to guesstimate a tail. So I'm just going to wrap this kind of around like that and find my scissors that I didn't bother to find earlier. Okay, and trim this and pull this through. So this is where we are going to stop for now. And here is the head. And I hope that this was helpful. And the rest of, let's see. So probably the next time I'll probably be able to do the body and the pieces. Or maybe, I don't know, the ears are kind of big, but we'll see what we do next time, I guess. So that's it for now, and hope this was helpful, and see you later.